This is AnonNews Today, the weekly update. The NSA has used automated systems to infect users' computers with malware since 2010, sometimes pretending to be Facebook. According to another Snowden leak, they used a program called Turbine to contaminate networks with implants capable of spying on users. Facebook commented saying it was no longer possible for the NSA to use them as false platforms, but they warned that other social media sites may still be vulnerable. Snowden's leaks have brought Gumfish and Captivate Audience to light. They are malware the NSA uses to hijack webcams and record conversations via the microphone. To protect yourself from these attacks, Wired has suggested a sticker over the webcam and a dummy audio plug in the audio jack. Low-tech and inexpensive ways to secure your webcam and mic. After these recent Snowden revelations, Zuckerberg called President Obama to express his frustration over the damage the government is creating for the future of the internet and to express outrage over the use of Facebook to spread the spying malware. Google is now routinely using SSL encryption to encrypt web searches made by users in China. In a statement by Google, they said it was part of a global expansion of privacy technology designed to thwart surveillance by government intelligence agencies, police, and hackers. The European Parliament moved a new set of data protection measures forward this week. When finally voted on, these laws will become a single set that replaces the multitude of separate privacy laws in Europe. Companies would have to take multiple steps to ensure individual privacy. Any companies violating these provisions could face fines up to $140 million or 5% of their global turnover. The death toll for a month of violent protests has risen to 28 in Venezuela. 1,293 detainees have been released, while 104 remain in custody accused of serious anti-government crimes. More than 300 people have been injured in the protests. The protesters are demanding that President Maduro quit, that they want political change, and an end to high inflation rates and crime. They also want the shortages of basic goods such as milk, flour, and cooking oil in stores to stop. German researchers have frozen the fastest thing in the universe, light, and they did it for a record-breaking minute. Their reasoning for attempting this is to ensure that it retains its quantum coherent properties, or information state, making it possible to build light-based quantum memory. It had been done before using cold atoms for 16 seconds. This time they converted light coherence into atomic coherences. In Bitcoin news, the current price average over the major exchanges is $625. Mt. Gox, the former Japan-based Bitcoin exchange, has filed for bankruptcy protection under Chapter 15 in the United States. This provides protection for cross-border insolvency. Mark Capellis, the former CEO of Mt. Gox, has had his assets temporarily frozen by the US federal judge Gary Fineman. It was reported that Capellis was allegedly moving millions of bitcoins earlier this week. Regulatory measures are cropping up all around the world in regards to taxation, laundering, and processing of Bitcoin. Singapore has started plans to regulate exchanges within the country and will monitor Bitcoin ATMs. The Australian Taxation Office has also jumped on the bandwagon, providing guidance to businesses on how they plan to deal with Bitcoin. The ATO stated that the profits and income coming from Bitcoin transactions are taxable. In Australia, the Victorian Parliament has passed a bill that gives police powers to suppress protests, including ordering a rally to move on based on suspicion that it may turn violent. Failure to comply with this may result in arrests, jail time of up to 2 years, and a $720 fine. On the 12th of March 2014, the Australian government made changes to the Privacy Act of 1988. This act now includes 13 new privacy principles that regulate the handling of personal information by Australian government agencies and private sector organisations. It states under Section B26 of the new Act structure that it is likely that all or most of the personal information collected or received by an agency will be included in a Commonwealth record. It then goes on to define destruction of this information under Section B27. Apps 4.3 and 11.2 require the destruction or de-identification of personal information in some circumstances. These requirements do not apply to information held in Commonwealth records. Let's fight this blatant disregard for personal privacy. Peace out.